With the first pick, the Detroit Pistons select Kobe Bryant from Lower Merion High School in Pennsylvania.
I put rookie Kobe Bryant back into the current NBA, and I wanted to see how many championships he could win in this era. However,
Tim Duncan from Wake Forest University. Kevin Garnett from Farragut Academy in Chicago. Paul Pierce from the University of Kansas.
every year I'm adding a superstar who eliminated Kobe from the playoffs in real life back into the draft. Will Kobe overcome his adversaries in this universe? Or will history repeat itself? Or will they team up and we get to see what that would look like in this universe? In Kobe Bryant's rookie season, he puts up almost 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal, and would win the Rookie of the Year. Kobe and the Detroit Pistons would be the 4th seed in the NBA playoffs and would make it all the way to the NBA Finals.
This is the NBA Finals, Game 2. The Detroit Pistons, fighting for their first win of the series, will try to even the score at 1-1 as they go up against the Dallas Mavericks. Which heroes will rise? The NBA playoffs start now.
Kobe was doing everything he possibly could to lead his Detroit Pistons to an NBA championship in his rookie season. But Luka and Kyrie was too much for him.
And they've done it! The Dallas Mavericks have won the NBA championship.
How would Kobe respond after being swept by Luka and the Mavs in the NBA Finals?
With the first pick, the Toronto Raptors select Tim Duncan from Wake Forest University.
Tim Duncan eliminated Kobe Bryant in the playoffs in 1999, 2003, and 2013.
They were running the other direction. San Antonio sweeps Los Angeles.
Duncan was arguably the biggest hurdle that Kobe Bryant needed to overcome to win more championships. With the offseason acquisition of Evan Mobley, the Pistons would go 64-18 and have the best record in the NBA. Tim Duncan would win the Rookie of the Year and help the Raptors lock up a 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference.
And so the Indiana Pacers win the series and will be moving on.
Tim Duncan would end up getting eliminated in the second round of the playoffs against the Indiana Pacers. In the second round of the playoffs, Kobe Bryant and the Detroit Pistons would be tied 2-2 to the Washington Wizards. This game was a must-win for Kobe Bryant, and he knew it. It came down to the last 4.8 seconds in the 4th quarter, down by 2, with Kobe taking the game-winning shot. This would be the first glimpse of seeing the Black Mamba in this universe. With 0.9 seconds on the clock, Wizards still had a shot to win the game.
That shot had a chance, but no good.
This win would catapult them to the NBA Finals to face off against Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves. Kobe and the Detroit Pistons were hungrier than ever after getting swept last year in the NBA Finals. He remembered that feeling of pain and loss and was going to do everything he possibly could to not feel that again. But Anthony Edwards wouldn't just lay down for Kobe. This was his first Finals appearance and he wasn't going to let it go to waste. Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves were down 3-1 to Kobe and the Pistons. Kobe Bryant was on a mission, and in Game 5, he held nothing back.
And the Detroit Pistons are your new NBA champion.
With the final score of 94-87 in Game 5, the Detroit Pistons have eliminated the Minnesota Timberwolves and are the 2026 NBA champions. Kobe Bryant has done it. He is an NBA champion in his second year as a Detroit Piston.
With the first pick,
The Los Angeles Lakers select
Karl Malone of Louisiana Tech.
Karl Malone eliminated Kobe Bryant in the '97 playoffs, and again in the 1998 playoffs.
96-92, Utah with a sweep of the Lakers.
Karl Malone would be teaming up with Anthony Davis in LA, and Malone would be winning the Rookie of the Year. However, Malone and the Lakers would only win 20 games and miss the playoffs. Kobe and the Detroit Pistons would go 69-13 and would lock up the number 1 seed going into the NBA playoffs. Tim Duncan and the Toronto Raptors would lock up the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. In the first round of the playoffs, Duncan would be down 3-2 to the Brooklyn Nets in this pivotal Game 6. It would come down to the last 8.3 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Pass to McLaughlin. Bridges feeling it out a little bit. And again for 3.
Duncan and the Toronto Raptors had 1 second to tie the game or win it. Tim Duncan and the Toronto Raptors would be eliminated in the playoffs in the first round. Kobe Bryant and the Detroit Pistons would cruise to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they would match up with the Washington Wizards. And then this happened. Kobe Bryant suffered a broken left ankle and would be out for the remainder of the playoffs. It was up to Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley to finish the job. They would lead the Detroit Pistons to the NBA Finals, where they would be up 3-2 against the Dallas Mavs and Luka Doncic.
Oh, and it's over. The Detroit Pistons are the new NBA champions.
The Detroit Pistons would win the NBA championship and go back-to-back without Kobe Bryant.
For watching, we'll see you next season.
In this universe, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, and Kobe Bryant are the big 3 and look unstoppable.
With the second pick,
the San Antonio Spurs select
Steve Nash from the University of Santa Clara.
Steve Nash eliminated Kobe Bryant from the playoffs in 2006, and then again the very next year in 2007. Steve Nash would be teaming up with Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio and would finish the regular season as the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. Kobe and the Detroit Pistons would once again have the best record in the NBA and be the number 1 seed in the playoffs.
And with that win, they'll be moving on to round 2. And they delivered an epic performance, sweeping this best-of-7 series.
Tim Duncan and the Toronto Raptors would once again be eliminated by the Brooklyn Nets in the first round.
And So the Dallas Mavericks have won the series. And with the 4-game sweep, they steamrolled their way through round 2.
Steve Nash and the Spurs will get swept by Luka and the Mavs in round 2 of the playoffs.
Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Detroit Pistons showed a scintillating display of teamwork to become conference champions in only 5 games. Now, only one adversary remains as they prepare to wage the ultimate battle against the Thunder. The pinnacle of the postseason, the NBA Finals, is here.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Oklahoma City Thunder would find themselves down 3-1 to Kobe and the Detroit Pistons in the NBA Finals. After breaking his ankle last year and not being able to play in the NBA Finals, Kobe Bryant didn't want to let his teammates down this year and left it all on the court.
The Detroit Pistons are the new NBA champions.
Kobe Bryant and the Detroit Pistons have won the NBA championship and have completed the three-peat. In this universe, Kobe Bryant is repeating history by winning 3 championships in a row, and this Detroit Pistons team is creating a dynasty.
With the second pick, the Orlando Magic select Dirk Nowitzki from Würzburg, Germany.
Dirk Nowitzki would eliminate Kobe Bryant in the playoffs in 2011. Will Nowitzki be able to challenge Kobe in this universe? Kobe and the Big Three in Detroit once again would lock up the best record in the NBA with 57 wins and would make it all the way to the NBA Finals for that elusive 4 championships in a row.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Kobe Bryant was playing through the pain. He had tendonitis in his right knee, but that wouldn't stop him from playing in the NBA Finals. Kobe would find himself down 3-2 to Nash, Wemby, and the Spurs. Despite Kobe's best efforts, Nash and Wemby will go on to win their first NBA championship.
And the San Antonio Spurs have done it. They are the NBA champions.
How would Kobe and the Big Three in Detroit respond after being so close to 4 championships in a row?
With the second pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers select Kevin Garnett from Farragut Academy in Chicago.
Kevin Garnett would eliminate Kobe Bryant from the NBA Finals in 2008. Garnett would win the Rookie of the Year, and he and the Cavs would lock up the 4th seed in the East. Kobe and the Pistons would lock up the number 2 seed in the East.
And so the Portland Trail Blazers have won the series. And with the 4-game sweep, they steamrolled their way through round 2.
The defending champions Nash, Wemby, and the Spurs would get eliminated in the second round due to Wembanyama going down in the first round with a severe right ankle sprain. In round 2 of the playoffs, Kobe and the Pistons would be matched up against Garnett and the Cavs. The series would be tied 2-2 in a must-win Game 5. It came down to the last 6 seconds in the fourth quarter The game tied 103 to 103 and the Cavs had the ball.
This one for three. Can't knock in the three. And we've got a timeout from Greg Popovich.
With 1.5 seconds left, Kobe and the Detroit Pistons have one shot to win the game.
Big time play.
That game-winning shot would knock the wind out of Garnett and the Cavs, and Kobe and the Pistons would make it once again back to the NBA Finals. In the NBA Finals, it would be the third rematch of Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks versus Kobe Bryant and the Detroit Pistons. But once again, Kobe and the Pistons would take care of business and defeat Luka and the Mavs in 6 games. This would be Kobe's 4th NBA championship in 5 years and 2nd Finals MVP.
With the 6th pick, the Atlanta Hawks select Chauncey Billups from the University of Colorado. The 2004 NBA Finals MVP, number 1, Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups defeated Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals in 2004. Will Billups be able to stop Kobe Bryant and the Detroit Pistons in this universe? In the offseason, Jason Tatum would sign a 4-year contract with the Lakers and team up with Karl Malone. Kobe Bryant would win his first MVP in the 2030-2031 season and would lead his Detroit Pistons to another NBA Finals to face off against none other than Luka Doncic and the Mavs.
Oh, and it's over. The Detroit Pistons are the new NBA champions.
With no supporting cast, Luka Doncic would be swept by Kobe and the Big Three in Detroit in the NBA Finals. Kobe now has 5 NBA championships under his belt. If he wins one more championship, he'll be tied with Michael Jordan.
And the winner of the Bill Russell NBA Finals MVP is none other than Kobe Bryant. With the first pick, the Indiana Pacers select Kevin Durant from the University of Texas.
Kevin Durant would eliminate Kobe Bryant in the second round of the playoffs in 2012. Kevin Durant would win the Rookie of the Year, but would miss the playoffs in his rookie season. In the regular season, Kobe and the Detroit Pistons would go 49-33 and drop down to the number 3 seed in the East. In the first round of the playoffs, Malone, Tatum, and the Lakers would be swept by Golden State. In the second round of the playoffs, Chauncey Billups and the Hawks would be swept by Kevin Garnett and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kobe and the Pistons would be up against Duncan and the Raptors in a must-win Game 7 in the second round. But once again, Kobe's supporting cast was a lot better than Duncan's, and the Pistons would blow out the Raptors in Game 7.
And so the Detroit Pistons have won the series, and it took 7 games.
In the Eastern Conference Finals, Kobe would find himself in another Game 7 against Kevin Garnett and the Cavs. The Black Mamba was in rare form tonight as he drops 42 points and leads his Detroit Pistons to another NBA Finals. The NBA Finals would be a rematch of 2026 against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but with no Anthony Edwards, but instead Zion Williamson. Coming off 2 Game 7s in the second round and the Eastern Conference Finals, would take a toll on Kobe and the Pistons and would find themselves down 3-1 in the NBA Finals.
Minnesota Timberwolves are your new NBA champions.
Kobe and the Pistons would fall short in the NBA Finals and failed to complete their second three-peat. Zion and the Minnesota Timberwolves would win their first NBA championship in franchise history.
With the second pick, the Orlando Magic select
John Stockton of Gonzaga University.
In the offseason, the Orlando Magic drafted John Stockton in hopes of re-signing Nowitzki. However, Nowitzki would sign a 4-year, $182 million contract with the Rockets. John Stockton would win Rookie of the Year, but without a franchise player like Dirk Nowitzki, the Orlando Magic would miss the playoffs. With 56 wins in the regular season, Kobe and the Detroit Pistons would be the number 1 seed in the East.
Nowitzki and the Rockets would sweep Karl Malone and the Lakers in the first round. Duncan and the Raptors found themselves in a Game 7 in Round 1 against the Miami Heat. With 21 seconds in the fourth quarter, Toronto was down 109-112 to Miami.
Johnson, a wide open look. Yes! And a tremendous three to tie it up.
With 18 seconds left, Miami would take the last shot to either win or go to overtime. Tim Duncan would lose another heartbreaker at the buzzer in the first round of the playoffs.
In the second round of the playoffs, Garnett and the Cavs would be up against Washington Wizards in a Game 7.
And so the Washington Wizards take the series and will move on.
Garnett's playoff run would end in the second round. In the Western Conference Finals, Nowitzki and the Rockets would be up against the Pelicans in a Game 7.
And so the New Orleans Pelicans take the series and will move on.
But Nowitzki and the Rockets would get blown out in Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals, which would lead to a Pelicans and Pistons NBA Finals.
It's Game 4 of the NBA Finals. The Pistons have simply been on a rampage, storming through the finals, and with a commanding 3-0 lead, they now have a chance to do what very few teams have even dreamed of. Can they sweep their way to the Larry O'Brien Trophy in a Game 4 against the New Orleans Pelicans?
And the Detroit Pistons are your new NBA champion.
Kobe Bryant has won his 6th NBA championship and has tied Michael Jordan, and has won more championships in this universe than in real life. There is no telling how many more championships Kobe can win considering he's only 27 years old.
with the 5th pick, the Denver Nuggets select Paul Pierce from the University of Kansas.
The Denver Nuggets selected Paul Pierce in hopes that one day he would be the centerpiece of their franchise. With 51 wins in the regular season, Kobe and the Detroit Pistons would lock up the number 2 seed in the East. Kobe Bryant and the Detroit Pistons have made the NBA Finals in 9 consecutive years ever since Kobe's rookie season. But with Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley being 33 years old, the dynasty of the Pistons is starting to come to an end. And it showed in the second round versus Durant and the Pacers, as Kobe put up 38 points in Game 6, but it would be not enough, as he would be eliminated and not reach the NBA Finals for the first time in his NBA career. With no Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors would win the NBA championship.
With the 2nd pick, the Denver Nuggets select Tony Parker of Racing Club Paris, France.
Tony Parker will be joining Paul Pierce in Denver, and in time could be a force to be reckoned with. In the offseason, Chauncey Billups would sign a 4-year, $192 million contract with the 76ers. Ja Morant would be signing a 1-year contract with Orlando and joining up with John Stockton. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander would sign a 2-year contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers and joining Kevin Garnett at the age of 36. With the help of SGA, Garnett would win his first MVP award. Kobe Bryant and the Pistons would make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they would match up against John Stockton, Ja Morant, and the Orlando Magic. And for the second year in a row, Kobe Bryant would fail to make it back to the NBA Finals and would lose in 6 games to the Orlando Magic, who would later go on to win their first NBA championship against Nowitzki and the Rockets in Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
And the Orlando Magic have done it. They are the NBA champions.
In this universe, Stockton, Morant, and the Orlando Magic franchise would go on to win their first ever NBA championship.
With the third pick, the Denver Nuggets select Amare Stoudemire from Cypress Creek High School in Orlando, Florida.
Stoudemire will join Tony Parker and Paul Pierce in Denver and form a young but bright Big Three. Kevin Durant would be named the 2036 MVP.
The Milwaukee Bucks have won it all! Wow!
With the Milwaukee Bucks winning the NBA championship, the question looms, what happened to Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bryant would be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. At the age of 30, can Kobe Bryant win another championship before he retires?
With the second pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Russell Westbrook from UCLA.
Russell Westbrook would be pairing up with a 36-year-old Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. Westbrook would finish the season winning Rookie of the Year. Stockton would leave Orlando and sign with the 76ers and team up with Chauncey Billups. Kevin Durant would win the MVP award back-to-back. For the second year in a row, Kobe Bryant would be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. Kevin Garnett would lead his Cavs all the way to the NBA Finals. After being in the league for 8 years, Kevin Garnett would win his first NBA championship and prove that anything is possible.
NBA champion, how does that sound?
Anything's possible! Anything's possible!
With the second pick, the Atlanta Hawks select James Harden of Arizona State University.
With no notable stars on the Atlanta Hawks, James Harden would miss the playoffs but would win the Rookie of the Year. Kobe Bryant would miss the playoffs for the first time in his NBA career. Kevin Durant would win his third consecutive MVP award, but would be eliminated in the first round of the playoffs.
Looks for Garnett. He gets it to him.
And they had a foul to give.
It was all up to Kevin Garnett to make these 2 free throws.
In the first of 2.
He still had one more shot to give the Cavs the lead.
And the the second of two is good.
With 3.6 seconds left and a 1-point game, the door was still open for the Clippers.
Sankovic buries the triple.
With 1.4 seconds left, Cleveland would be taking the last shot.
Here's Hawkins. Oh, the all-or-nothing shot, no good.
Garnett couldn't help but feel responsible for losing Game 6.
There's nothing positive about losing.
In Game 7 of the NBA Finals, Garnett would destroy the Clippers and put up 43 points and win the NBA championship.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are the new NBA champs.
In this universe, Garnett would win 2 championships and win back-to-back.
With the second pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Kawhi Leonard from San Diego State University.
Kawhi Leonard would be joining Russell Westbrook in Minnesota. Chauncey Billups would leave John Stockton in Philly and join the Miami Heat. Kevin Garnett would win the regular season MVP, but would get bounced in the first round of the playoffs and end all hopes of a three-peat. Kobe and the Pistons would suffer the same fate and be eliminated in 4 games in the first round of the playoffs.
He's been the league MVP, but he's never been the finals MVP. You're Bill Russell, finals MVP. Kevin Durant.
In this universe, Kevin Durant has won the Indiana Pacers their first NBA championship in franchise history. Chauncey Billups has been bouncing around the league trying to find the best fit for him to win an NBA championship, and in the 2040 finals hit the jackpot.
And they've done it! The Miami Heat have won the NBA championship!
Chauncey Billups defeats Karl Malone and the Lakers in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, leaving Karl Malone still searching for his first NBA championship even in this universe. John Stockton would leave Philly and rejoin his former team, the Orlando Magic. The Magic would lock up the number 1 seed in the East, only to be upset in the first round of the playoffs.
What a way to cap off a riveting series in round 1.
Kevin Garnett would win his 3rd regular season MVP, but would be eliminated in the second round of the playoffs. Paul Pierce, Tony Parker, and Amari Stoudemire, the Big Three in Denver, would make it all the way to the NBA Finals, but would go home empty-handed in 4 games. The Toronto Raptors would win the 2041 NBA championship. Without Tim Duncan, who suffered a collapsed lung in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was a bittersweet championship for Tim Duncan, but in the 2042 NBA Finals, would have another shot at winning another championship and going back-to-back. But Nowitzki would have other plans, as he would be up 3-2 going into Game 6. Houston had the ball with 6.3 seconds left on the clock in the 4th quarter.
To take the lead. Oh my! What a shot!
Toronto Raptors would have the last shot to send it into overtime.
This would tie it. Oh! Oh, and they've done it! The Houston Rockets are the new NBA champions!
Nowitzki would win his first NBA championship after being in the league for 13 years. The NBA is a young man's league. And after 20 years in the league, Kobe Bryant would retire as a Detroit Piston. His loyalty to Detroit was unshakable. Kobe would stay in Detroit through all the adversity so that he could witness the pure joy of success.
And to spend 20 years here, I mean, you can't write something better than this. All I can do here is just thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the years of support. Thank you guys for all the motivation. Thank you for all the inspiration. What can I say? Mamba out.